Hi, this is Amy Harris, and I'm going to show you how to create a Peermark assignment in Turnitin. Right now I'm in MyFire in one of my courses. I'm going to go down to finals week to create this Turnitin assignment. You'll see I have my editing on so I can add an activity, and I'm going to add a Turnitin assignment 2. The first thing that we're going to do is create the base assignment where the students submit their drafts. Now you can name this whatever you want. That just happens to be what I'm putting in there, and I'm going to copy that into the summary. I'll be explaining to my students face-to-face how to do this. Now I like to do the file upload as opposed to students trying to type text in a box. We only need one part at this point. We'll add the second part later. Maximum points. If you give them points just for turning in something, then you can give them points for that. I allow the submission of any type, and yes, you can do the display originality reports. Alright, so our start date is today, and the program even knows what time it is. The due date is in approximately 1 week, so that'll be on the 15th. The post date is when the papers will be available for peer review, so keep that in mind when you're doing this. So you'll notice that it is the same day, but I'm going to make it later, okay, a whole 3 minutes later. Very exciting. Okay, and our max marks for this are 10. Okay, originality reports, that's totally up to you if you want to do that or not. Considering if it's a draft, they're going to be resubmitting it, so you might want to tell them no. If you want to attach a rubric to it, you can do that here. That way the students can see what you expect. And honestly, I usually just turn this all off because it makes more mistakes than it finds. We want it to show, we don't have any groups, and there's no restrictions on the access. So I'm going to click Save and Display because I'm saving the first part, but I want to display it so that I can add the second part. So you can see here is the first part with our start date, the due date, the post date, which is just 3 minutes later, and the marks that are available. Now we want to go here to the green people with the gears, okay, but don't click on this normally like you normally would, okay, because otherwise it creates a whole bunch of problems. You want to right click on it and open link in new tab. Now the reason that we're doing this is so that we can be able to see all the buttons that we need to see as we're creating the second part. Alright, so it has opened this in a new tab, and you can see it tells us there's no Peermark assignment, but we want to create one. So we're going to click on the green plus sign and give it a title. So this part I'm going to call just peer review. Okay, point value, whatever you're going to give them for doing this. Notice the start date is going to be it's going to be when the papers are due. The due date again is another week later. You can adjust that, and the feedback release date is 3 minutes after that. Okay, additional settings in here. You definitely want to look at this. Do you want to award full points if the review is written? Which I do. If they answer all the questions I give them, then they get full credit. I do allow students without a paper to review because I still think their input's valuable, but you can do otherwise. Depends on if you want to let them see who wrote it, and do you want people to be able to read all the papers after the start date and so on. Okay, so that's up to you. Now in my classes everybody has to do 3 papers, nobody gets to select one, and I don't require self-review because hopefully they've done that themselves, right? So we're going to click Close, and then we're going to click Save and Continue. Now the program knows that we need to create the Peermark questions first. I already have created a library of questions, so I'm going to do Add from Library, and I'm going to add my questions for the peer review that they do of the intro. So you can see it lists all the questions I've created, and I have free responses, but they might have to be so many words. So this one has to be 10 words long, etc. So toggle all means I want all of those questions, and then I click the green button. Yes, please add all of these wonderful questions to the Peermark assignment. So you'll see that they all appear here. If you decide you want to delete one, you can. You can edit the questions. You can also reorder them, although I have mine in the order they are for a specific reason. Distribution. If you want, you can set it up so that certain students have to do each other's papers. Maybe they have the same topic, or maybe they have, I don't know, the same level of writing skills, something like that. I'm not going to worry about that. For me, that doesn't matter. But I am going to go back here to the beginning and click Save and Continue. So it's saved all my stuff, hopefully, right? Okay, now when I exit out of here and I refresh this, okay, so I have changed my role to that of a student so that I can go in here and see what the students would see. So you can see that, again, the peer review is green, but that's because I forced the date. So we're in the window between 3:30 and 3:35. Okay, and I'm required as the student to do 3 reviews, so I know that. This is the paper that I turned in, and it's 99% similar because I always use the same example when I upload as a student. This is where students click to be able to do their peer review. And because nobody else has submitted, I can't do a peer review, but this is where your students would get a list of 3 articles that they are to do for peer review, and they would click a button here for each one, and it would open up each one and allow them to make comments within the paper, and it would also on the right hand side have all the questions that I put in there from the library. So I'm sorry that I can't demonstrate that for you, but maybe I'll make another one later on in the semester when my students have actually done this assignment and we'll be able to see it.